Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? I'm Dan from Trading with Dan. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. Let's just go over to the Bitcoin 4-hour charts. Yes, the Bitcoin on the 4-hour. As we can see, we are having a little bit of a test down into our support zone again. You could probably call this the fourth test. Maybe this the first, second, third, and fourth, or maybe you just want to look at this as one test. But yeah, the third test down into it. Yeah, currently trying to bounce off it. But obviously, this is not the most bullish looking price action. We've obviously got these series of lower highs as well. So yeah, obviously this not being the most important level of support, this $42,000 level being the most important level, it would not be beyond the realms of possibility for the evil market manipulator whales to push us down to test into this level, maybe some wicks below, some liquidity hunts below, before then ripping us potentially back towards the top of the range. That is obviously a potential scenario. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But yeah, at the moment, obviously, we are looking quite weak in the Bitcoin price. So yeah, we potentially got to expect some downside. Realistically, getting back above this area, we can pretty much call it $47,000. Could potentially get us moving back towards 50,000, and then obviously we can see what happens when we get back up there. Not sure why I have this extra horizontal in here. See if we can delete that. There we go. But yeah, I mean, realistically, you can see we are in this short term, at least, within pretty much pinned between these two levels, this support level and this resistance level. So if we do get above these highs, above this resistance level, and then yeah, potentially $48,000, $50,000 will be on the cards. Obviously, if we do come down, we've got to hold 41, 42,000. Otherwise, we are in trouble, and this will look extremely like a lower high on the macro. And then yeah, I mean, realistically, we've got to then look for lower lows below 30,000. If we go over to Ethereum Satoshi pairing, that did get rejected again in our resistance zone. So coming back down for a third time itself into this horizontal level. So I mean, Bitcoin does make an aggressive move to the upside or to the downside. We can expect this to come down. But yeah, if it just trades sideways and potentially drifts up, maybe we get a bounce back up. But yeah, I mean, we can pretty much see here that this is not the picture, not the most bullish picture. Pretty much a descending triangle forming. So obviously we've got the base to watch out for, and then the downward sloping trend line to watch out for a potential break either above here or below here. So yeah, Bitcoin dominance as well, having a little bit of a squeeze up here into its resistance zone, with this little bit of weakness we're getting in the markets on Monday morning. If we do look at the stock markets though, this could be our savior, just another BTFD, as we spoke about on Friday. People are paying up for downside protection, so when they do that, that isn't usually the time that we get a severe downside move. So potentially it would make more sense for this just to squeeze back onwards and upwards as it always does. Until it doesn't. But yeah, at the moment I'd expect this to squeeze back up, which would be probably be good for crypto. And then the DXY here is trying to bounce up as well, so maybe it is gonna get into this resistance zone again, but we are realistically, if stock markets do make that move up, we will kind of be expecting this to turn back down. But at the moment it's obviously looking rather on the bullish side. We're off the back of a move up. We are looking to take out this high here, so that is obviously going to put the frighteners on the market. But obviously, like I said, if the stock market does start to bounce a bit more aggressively here, looking like it's just going to carry on onwards and upwards like it usually does, then I would expect this to turn back down, and then yeah, everything, all bets will be back on. all bets will be back on. So yeah, 10-year yield also just not doing a lot here, just at a tightening range. So this could have a breakout of volatility, and if you had to kind of guess, just based on pattern, it would potentially be to the upside, in as it is forming a sort of ascending triangle. So obviously a break to this of the upside is, well, a break in any direction I've spoke about is not ideal. A break to the upside is indicative of inflation concerns, higher rates, and that and in a week. And basically, so as long as we do have inflation, that is good for cryptos and commodities. Stagflation isn't good for people in general, because that's the economy weakening whilst inflation is going up. But if you are in those inflation assets, then then obviously it is good for the value of those assets. So let's have a final look at the stochastics. 4 hour turning down, didn't really manage to get a decent rally there, but turning down and pointing down at the moment. It's a downward pressure there. I guess suspect these 10 and 12 hours weren't looking as good as they were trying to turn back up the other day. But yeah, see, we did turn back up, but we have turned back down now in the 10 hour and 12 hour. When it was looking, it was trying to turn back up. It didn't. It continued downwards. And daily still diving, but the daily is obviously a higher time frame. So if this does bottom out and turn up, it then could ultimately drag the 12 and 10 hour, which will be more prone to turning back up because they'll be at a lower level, and then we could finally get like basically that decent move up. But that could come with a move below the level we're at now, below this support. We could get down towards maybe 42, and then we sort of bottom out there. Then the daily 12, 10 hour will turn up. Everything looks great, and then we just basically trade towards the top of the range, which could be the scenario, and also potentially coinciding with the 2-day coming into its trend line. So yeah, that is basically what I am kind of looking at here. We've got the top of the range up here. I'm not sure why this has got colored again. This has been colored in. I did have to refresh and all my stuff, because my computer was playing up, so maybe that is why it decided to just do some random things. But yeah, I mean, this is potentially the top of the range. I guess this is an important $50,000 level. This is pretty much the mid of the range that we are below now, and this is the bottom half part of the range. So a test into the bottom half, and then a bounce and continuation up to the top half of the range, and trading sideways within this range is what is, I think, the ideal scenario, the Goldilocks scenario. Trade sideways for a good few more weeks, and then mount a move fully bullish up to 58.5 and above, and then onwards to 100k in a last big hoorah, sort of December, January time, end of this year. That is how I'm expecting it to play out. It's not obviously a high conviction, you know what I mean? I'm like 90% sure this is how it's going to play, but if I had just to pick a scenario of all the possible scenarios, bearing in mind there are lots of scenarios, that just would be the highest probability scenario that I would expect to happen. So in the meantime, though, it is going to test us. It always tests us at these low levels. It'll always test us. The market will always test us. If ultimately it's going to make its way up, it will look bearish at occasions, test people, FUD people out of their positions. It's not necessarily FUD, but just price action, chart FUD, making you want to sell your positions. But ultimately that market trading is not easy. If it is obvious we're gonna see 100k Bitcoin by the end of the year, it's just not going to make it easy for people just to buy and hold here. It is going to try and FUD a certain amount of people out of positions, whilst the bigger market manipulators pick up those cheap liquidity. So that is it. This is definitely not financial advice, though, so definitely don't read into what I'm saying as well. That's going to happen. But yeah, they're just my opinions and my views, and this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so always do your own research and make your own crystal ball speculations, and I shall speak to you guys soon.